You facing them. It's not how shit talks go. It's not right. See, I feel like I'm set up well now, not for a lot of movement, and I feel like you're set up for...
I'm set here now.
Do the people know there's a goblin in the room?
I think the goblin will make himself known. Let him up there next year.
Hello.
Oh, the best boy.
Is he a goblin or a gremlin?
He's Davy the house elf. The house and sometimes outside elf.
Jeez, there's knobs everywhere. There's bits and
There's
bobs.
a lot of cock going on there.
You sit down quietly. Will you?
If you give him a little cuddle, he'll just nuzzle in. There we go.
So I broke my foot?
You did break your foot. I'm just going to adjust my volume now slightly.
Or is this recording?
We're recording, yeah.
It's live.
Live.
Why do people like the shit talks, I wonder?
I think Murphy likes the shit talks because it's the only chance he'll get a cuddle during a video.
Yes.
But I get what you mean.
He is adorable.
Maybe it's that our strength and conditioning informational one isn't all that interesting to listen to.
You know, it doesn't need to be interesting. It needs to be correct and usable.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like our videos aren't very visually impactful to look at. You know?
Yeah.
Two trolls. Right, he'll have to go down.
Yeah, I suppose we tried that for a long time.
We did try hard.
It
And
just-
then we just weren't.
it
just
doesn't-
didn't make a difference.
It didn't. Actually, sometimes people didn't even like it.
Some people said it was distracting. I don't know what else could possibly. He's going at himself there now.
He's your spawn, like.
He is my spawn, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we tried the highly edited stuff, and if you looked at, from our point of view, it's not necessarily the most views. Well, we tried that for a while, and we were getting like 1.5 million views a month there for months on end.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't really transferring to the business
Yes.
in what you would have thought, you know, when we were asking customers and people on the app. So then we also just didn't really like making those videos as much.
No, I definitely think some of those videos were a bit of a step away from what we wanted to be doing.
And what we've been doing historically.
Yeah, like what the whole fundamental backbone is. Now, obviously, we're two spineless people. We'll just bend whatever way the wind goes. But I think they were a bit of a step away. Like
we just got lost in views and coke. Like it was just really, like it was, you know,
just stimulants of all kinds.
I just got addicted to the green arrows on the shorts.
You really got addicted.
The Studios app, you know. But
so for those of you who aren't YouTube content creators, which sounds so weird to even say, if you don't have a YouTube page, you probably don't have an app on your phone called YouTube Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And on that app, it's like all the other apps that are trying to draw your attention, but it gives you basically like whether the video is 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just normal views, they're grey arrows pointed down, which is very depressing to look at.
they know exactly what
And
they're
then
doing.
you get a gorgeous luminous green arrow with an upward.
If it's top 2,
Yeah.
you get a full green arrow.
Jesus almighty.
7 to 3 is a green outline,
Yeah.
and then 8 to 10 is grey. Grey.
Very disappointing.
It's grim.
And you'd have spent like, so obviously you're watching a video that's 15 minutes long or 20 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Conceivably, for some of those videos, there's 3 or 4 hours of script writing, research. Like if there's papers involved, reading those papers, getting a synopsis, reading the other papers that those papers reference. If there's some collaboration of some sort, like if we talk to another coach, there's that going on in the background, booking that meeting, making sure that's in there. And you essentially have a massive bulk of work, like a body of work behind this 15, 20, 25 minute long video. And then it's 8 p.m. in the evening and you're sitting down having a shit and you take out, obviously you look for that little ping in your brain and it's an 8 out of 10 and you're looking at grey arrows.
But not only that, you're forgetting the 20 plus years of experience that got us to a place where you could make that video in an hour.
And that's also the thing of, like, you never want to be married to your ideas, but like I wouldn't have said those things if those things weren't what's in my brain. If my brain hadn't processed the information for the last 20 years of training and said, no, this is what I believe, this is how the knee should track during a back squat, and then you see the grey arrow and you're like, oh, the internet doesn't approve.
See, we used to make stuff specifically for people who needed it, and then, you know, we'd make very specific niche content.
Yeah.
You'd be like, is the safety squat bar any use for someone who's rehabbing from an ACL tear or something like that?
Yeah.
Really niche videos, knowing we wouldn't get a lot of views. And then it's not that we stopped making those videos, but we kind of, I don't say lost the run of ourselves.
View hungry.
You got view hungry. And so the problem was, it was working, you know. We were getting, there was maybe 2,000 subscribers per month at end there, which if you don't know how YouTube works currently in the niche we're in, is really good.
Yeah.
And we were getting between 1.2 or 2, kind of 1.5 views per month.
Yeah.
And we were, I suppose, it was nice, and we were like, it was an experiment, I suppose. It wasn't a wrong thing. It wasn't like we were doing something like,
it's a social experiment.
We weren't like scamming people, you know. We were just trying different things with content and seeing what it did. But it was getting the views, and I suppose you get an increase in customers from an increase in the views, I suppose. You
do, yeah. Or theoretically you do.
But we were chatting around Christmas. See, a lot of last year was taken up by making the app, and it was hard to get a hold of any kind of time where you could plan out videos ahead of time. And we tried it with the podcast series we did, which went okay. Some really good podcasts.
Yeah.
Like the Tammy one was fantastic, you know, Blaine.
Unbelievable. Some of my favourite podcasts we've ever done.
Kelly Starrett were all great, you know, and people liked those, but they didn't hit as hard as we wanted, and we thought we'd get a bit of time to plan ahead with videos. And we were just kind of like, and we kept talking about, like, you know, we'd suggest a video, you'd suggest a video, I'd suggest a video, and I'd be like, I don't really want to do that. And I'm not like, it's nothing specific, you know, but I'm really happy with the stuff we're doing now, like, because sometimes it hits and that's good, and then sometimes if it gets 3,000 views, it doesn't matter, because we're both really happy with what we're making.
Yes. And as well, I think for the 3,000 people who watch that versus 20,000 people who watch another video, I think 2,500 of those 3 get the really valuable information from it.
Yeah.
Which maybe only 1,000 of the previous 20 would have actually gotten some valuable information from it, or like information that's really impactful for them. Not so much that there's no value, but that actually changes something they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I think the more specific it is, the more like pernickety with the details, rather than it being like you saw a video from last week of John Jones doing safety bar squats. And like, that's really, really valuable to people. A load of combat athletes watch our stuff, a load of combat athletes use our programs to train, and we really commonly get questions about safety bar squats, and particularly squats to a box. So that's really impactful, and that's like a bit of a blend of the real flashy thing of everyone's seen the video of John Jones squatting, everyone knows who John Jones is, with the impactful information behind it.
So now our motto is basically, if it's not purely educational as the substance of the video, it just doesn't go up.
Yeah.
We just don't really want to do it.
With the exception of the shit talks, because I don't use the word barrage often, but we've had a barrage of requests.
They're non-stop barrages.
Yeah.
So now when you're putting up videos, it has to be education first. And even if it's like, for want of a better word, clickbaity title, like the John Jones was clicky, but then it's purely information heavy, you know. And it's not that you can't do that. It's not like we feel wrong about doing that. But the main criteria now is, does it help someone in this really specific niche of their training? And if it does, like the judo hill sprint video.
Yes.
For some reason on Instagram that got 2 million views, which is
crazy.
Huge, and like a couple of thousand comments or something. And you did that video on it, and it's like 7 out of 10, for example.
Yeah.
But it's really good information. It's really specific. There's a certain cohort of judo people who watch our channel, do our programs, and really like it. And I suppose we kind of evolved as a business too, because we were like, you know what, we don't really care. Neither of us really want fame.
No.
We just want a successful business.
Yeah.
And my big thing with the business is, I want you to use the app even if you hate us. You know what I mean?
That's the ideal circumstance, where somebody who really dislikes us personally, my God.
It wouldn't be a shit talk without your phone going off.
It really wouldn't be. That's the ideal case, really, where someone really doesn't like either of us, but the information is there and the content is there and the product is there, that they'll use it anyway.
Like, I don't want people to use it because they're like, I really want to support the lads.
Yeah.
I want you to use it because you're like, that's a really good app, you know? So
absolutely, yeah.
it has to be...
I want it to be like Coca-Cola, you know, where most people hate Coca-Cola, but everyone uses Coca-Cola products all the time.
There's some crazy number on the amount of plastic that just Coca-Cola contributes to the world's waste.
Really?
And like, if they'd switch to glass, they'd make a significant impact on the use of plastics.
Gotta make that cash dollar though.
But apparently glass would make more sense. It wouldn't cost them any more. It might even be cheaper.
Oh, imagine the cost of transport though.
Apparently it wouldn't make that much difference either.
No way.
Apparently. Like, it's not a crazy difference for them, the money they make, but the outcome for them obviously isn't worth it, I suppose. Now, I'm sure glass obviously would make some difference. And you can buy some glass.
In pubs and stuff, it's always glass mixers.
Were we somewhere recently? Where were we?
We're somewhere right now.
Where was John's wedding on?
In Limerick.
There was a glass bottle in a petrol station that you could buy.
You're not serious.
In it there. I remember being like, am I in a different country? What's going on here?
That's a very uppity move, isn't it?
I thought about buying it, but then I didn't because I was like, that's crazy.
You'd love that though.
Do you know what I always do? You should always buy cans. You really should. Cans, most aluminium.
Anytime I can buy a bag of cans, I do.
Most aluminium is recycled.
Yeah.
Probably about 3/4 of it for cans. It's really easily recyclable. So it's a minor decision, but it does, like, buying plastic bottles as opposed to cans is a conscious decision.
You also think I'm very excited for is the youth of this generation being able to collect plastic bottles and return them for money.
Do you know what's too late though? This is the hottest the world has ever been this month.
Right.
Everywhere.
Class.
It's fucked up there.
I did.
No, we fucked up.
You
know, it'll be alright though.
It'll be grand.
Probably.
Things are always okay.
Yeah.
Things have never been better than they are now.
For you and I, for example.
Yeah.
Not for everyone though.
Yeah. Very fair point. There are certain places things are bad now.
Do you know, what do you think about it as a sports psychologist?
Very little.
Rarely do I think. A lot of times people will say that, you know, stress is stress and it doesn't matter. Putting things in context doesn't matter, you know. So if we look at, say, the Stoics, I really like Stoicism, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why I like Stoicism?
Go on.
As opposed to, I don't really care for other philosophies.
Okay.
Do you know why?
I don't know why.
You know me well enough to maybe reason. I'll give you 3 seconds.
Is it because they're just like, you can't control it, just leave it go?
No, go further back than that. Zoom out further.
Zoom out further?
What do you think I get?
The world is shit.
No. You're thinking about the specific philosophy.
Okay.
Don't think about the specific philosophy of Stoicism. Just think about what is different about Stoicism to some other philosophies. Not all of them, but slightly different.
Is that they're written by certain people?
I like Stoicism because it's really practical. I don't care for the meaning of life. I don't want to know.
It's on an individual basis, basically.
No, I don't lament on things. I don't want to, what's the meaning of life? I don't have any nihilism in me.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was just wherever from genetics and the way I was grew up, maybe.
Yeah.
What I want is the Sikastrength rotating your squat program and how to think about things better. That's what I want from a philosophy.
That's what I want from everything now.
But that's what Stoicism is. It's just, this is how you think about things.
Yeah.
You don't particularly get spiritual with it. You don't apply any life-altering decisions.
Yeah.
Like, the basis of Stoicism is living wisdom with your life, basically.
Okay.
And so you just apply that to whatever that means. Don't be a dick. Don't get too attached to things. You have to get over stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, whatever the phrase, whatever living in wisdom means to you.
Living in wisdom.
Yeah, just don't be a dumbass. Like, that's what I really like. It's just super practical. It's a program, you know. I don't care why. I want to know how.
I think I'm resonating with a lot at the moment.
Is Coke. Coke
no,
and
this is very much along the same line, so it's interesting you bring it up.
Oh, Met.
No. Although class is... So obviously we're doing a load of stuff at the moment. Between work, I'm renovating a house.
Don't tell the lads I'm doing Coke with you. I'm not doing
it.
Oh my God. We can't stop saying that because YouTube will knock it off.
So renovating a house, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of stuff that, like, for work, we'll get an expert outside of our realms to help us with accounting or with business structuring or whatever. And now the big thing in my head is that this path is already formed. Whatever the problem is, somebody else has already figured out the best way of doing it, and that I should no longer be wasting my time trying to figure out what the best path is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to someone I'll go to someone like Teddy and say, Teddy, this is the problem with that wall. What are we going to do? And Teddy will say, oh, I did X, Y, and Z, or ring this person, or the specs for this beam is this. And I'm not doing any more time, no more like Google rabbit holes looking for the top 5 ways to.
But you love that.
I loved it, but I've wasted the majority of my life doing stuff like that.
Oh, you don't want to do it?
I'm not doing it anymore.
You've made a conscious decision.
Yeah, I'll allow myself to do it for shooting because I like those rabbit holes in that situation, but I'm not doing it with anything else. I'm not doing it with cars anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not changing anything on that Jeep. I'm not going to do it with anything with the house. I'm not going to go for lamb's wool triple spun insulation. I'm going to go with Kingspan that every builder in Cork is using, and that's just how I'm going to run it from now on. That's the program around here because I'm done with it.
You're very good at actually making a decision and sticking with it.
Yes.
You're really good at being like, do you know what, this isn't great. No, not all the time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes if you make the decision, you're very good at just having a conversation with yourself and doing that.
Yeah.
But you've glaring flaws there.
Terrible decision making at certain points in my past.
Once you acknowledge that your thing you're doing isn't the better one, you're really good at just changing the other one and getting on with it.
Yeah. Decisive decision making.
Yeah.
It's not the best. We don't need to make the best decision.
Yeah.
Right now, we just need a decision made.
But it just comes back again, I suppose, to those nasal stimulants. Like, it just really is that some one decision.
There's going to be a flag on this video, like.
What kind of flag?
Oh my god!
Hey. So yeah, that's the long.
So let's bring it around to your wrong decisions, Owen. How's that foot doing?
This wasn't my decision.
It is because you decided to do jiu-jitsu.
Where does that stop though? Like, when do you go? You know what?
I think at a certain point when you decide to take part in a sport where everyone gets injured, you are responsible for that. You have entered the arena of consequence.
Do we describe the event?
Is this camera definitely recording? Can you see the little red wazzer there?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we're all good. Go on.
You've been looking at it for a while there, yeah. There's a red. I can see the wreck.
There's a bit of a glare on the screen from my vantage point now.
No, I can see the wreck, all right. The goblin's sleeping.
The goblin is sleeping. I told you, once you give him a bit of a cuddle, all he wants is he touching you as he's asleep?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
So it's kind of incomprehensible if you don't do jiu-jitsu what happened. But basically there was pronation of my foot.
So there's something called the De La Hiva.
Yes, the De La Hiva guard, right? As you know. So basically, my foot got pronated. It was pinned, extreme pronation, and my whole body was pulled in the exact opposite direction. Now, as you know, your bones don't take a lot to break, no matter how strong you are. And for any jiu-jitsu people listening, what basically happened was someone was in a De La Hiva guard, but they were kind of high up my leg. They dropped straight down and landed on my foot, but pulled me towards them as they landed on my foot. So it was instantaneous, and it overpronated the foot and broke one metatarsal. Not fully broke it, but seems to be a crack.
Yeah.
I was looking at it with the doctor, and we're both like, kind of looks like a break. And we're like, yeah. And then there's a definite chip. Now, the problem isn't the break. Foot bones actually heal really well if you give them a chance.
Yeah.
But the issue is with the chip, because I had an x-ray, there's no soft tissue on it, and with a chip attached to a tendon, you can have something known as a Vulcan fracture, which is tendon comes off. Tendons are attached to bones as they're wont to do.
Yeah.
And getting it may or may not be off with it, and it may or may not need surgery. Now, lots of avulsion fractures in your foot heal without surgery.
Yes.
And
I think you'll get away without surgery.
Considering how well it's healing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's healing unbelievably well.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing healing powers.
It's crazy how fast it's healing, isn't it? It's so strange.
It's somewhat unreal.
It's almost unnatural how fast
it is almost unnatural how fast that's what's getting better.
Yeah, it'd be incredibly amazing to see.
You are good at sticking to things like that, though.
Oh fuck yeah, I am. That's been something since I've been a child.
I'm terrible with injuries where I'll ice it, or if we're doing ice and heat or whatever.
Yes, ice.
And then I'll be like, oh, it feels way better. And then I'll go away for the rest of the day, and then that night I'll be lying in bed and being like, my back is on fire. I can't feel my legs.
No, it's been something. I'm really driven by positive action towards a goal.
Yes.
And if there's anything I can do,
yes,
it makes me really happy. It's really positive dopamine though. Like that's obviously
that's a great positive feedback loop though.
Yeah, it really is. It really, if there's anything I can do, no matter how futile it seems to the problem,
Yeah.
not in this case because the stuff I'm doing is really positive.
I wish positive being the active word.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. I also wish I had the thing where people get, Joe, some people when they clean up a space,
Yeah,
they're like, oh, doesn't that feel great?
I don't get that one.
I don't get that at all. I wish I had that.
Yeah, I don't.
I get it when I finish a list.
Hmm.
So if I'm like a packing list or like a list of things doing work, when I finish the list, I get a little buzz off it. But I wish I had it for being clean or like following through with things.
I think you can just tell yourself you get that though and you'll get it. I think you can just quite literally be like, I love cleaning.
I don't think so, Gareth.
You actually can. You just say it enough and it'll become a thing.
So the lads who are helping me with the house at the moment, two of them in particular, phenomenal craftsmen, but they love things being clean.
Yeah.
So they'll take like an hour at the end and they'll clean up everything and lay everything out and have everything spick and span.
Amazing.
But they'd be doing that in between day 1 and day 2 of taking out a chimney breast and knocking a wall. And I'm like, lads, there's 15 more tons of concrete to come out of this room tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Why are we cleaning it?
It makes sense. I understand it's a
does
good
make
habit.
sense.
It's very Navy SEAL, you know?
Yeah, very Jocko.
Yeah, very clean up your room or whatever, or Jordan Peterson used to say.
Somebody has beef with Goggins at the moment.
Somebody?
Does John Jones have beef with Goggins? Somebody has.
Oh,
Who is that?
I did see that actually. I saw something like that. I've been really trying to pay less specific attention to anything online.
Yes.
So I try not to go down any rabbit holes. I just really try and be specific to words I look at
Okay.
in terms of...
I'm deep in the shooting rabbit hole at the moment.
No general browsing really anymore.
No general browsing.
Very little general browsing.
I don't scroll Instagram too much anymore, but I'm a demon for the YouTube shorts. I like the more random algorithm of YouTube shorts.
I'm trying to get rid of the YouTube shorts as well.
Oh,
I'm trying to be really specific.
very nice.
Yeah, just trying to cut out, like, I don't want to switch between things either. So if I watch a video, unless it's really bad, I'd like to just watch the video,
Oh, no.
commit to it.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
It's just brain rot, really, the rest of the stuff.
I know, but if you start a bad video there and you have 17 more minutes of it,
If it's bad, I'll stop watching it.
yeah, I can't. I will not do that. I'll do that with films or movies, as our American friends would say. I'll definitely do it if I put a film on. I'll just watch it through to the end.
Now, I'm saying this as I put up 4 reels a day and 4 TikToks.
You actually watch enough of them.
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm behind the curtain, I suppose. Maura does unbelievably well as a thing on social media also.
It's a volume approach, isn't it?
But everybody's on it. You know what is... I was saying this to you now, and a lot of people might not notice, but Instagram is about 2.5 billion active users a month. But there's a platform with more than that. And you didn't guess it, and it was Facebook. Facebook has 3 billion.
Do you know why that is?
Right?
Because of all the old lads on it as well.
You were always on Facebook.
Yeah.
You scroll Facebook.
Yeah.
Who does that anymore?
Only on my desktop as well.
So we're posting on Facebook now, but I don't know.
Are we posting on Facebook?
We're also on Twitter as well. I joined Twitter. You should really... So it's one of the things we did change as well. Well, I suppose I've changed direction a little bit.
You're head of social media marketing.
We're very busy, I suppose, and we
Yeah.
kind of had to segregate a little bit. But was to not be super attached to one platform. You don't want to get overexposed. So I would always think of YouTube as the kind of the main thing for us, but it's... You never know when your channel could get deleted. There's just huge markets elsewhere. Cross-platform posting is just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It makes no sense not to do it.
It makes no sense not to.
Like, when you think about the market size we really want is quite small in relation to the actual market.
Yeah.
For us to do the financial goals we want. And I suppose technically the number of people you could service on the app is almost unlimited, but it's not really too many, you know.
No, like you don't need 20,000 people.
No, well, it'd be nice, you know. But it is...
that foot would be healing real fast if we had 20,000 people on the app.
The foot's healing pretty fast as it is. So the, like... What was I going to say? Fuck. Yeah, so it's just... Like Mark Bell, for example. Remember that channel got deleted?
Yeah, out of nowhere.
You just don't want that to happen because...
Especially, it's really like if we're doing videos on people, there's a strange thing where people are incredibly personally attached to an athlete or a way of doing something or a team, and then something will come up in a video where we're not necessarily completely disagreeing with the athlete. We might just be disagreeing with a training methodology, or we're training or disagreeing with a type of squat jerk instead of split jerk or something. And people get really, really militant about it.
And the thing with YouTube is you can be less clout heavy and have your niche, you know?
Yes.
But on Instagram, for example, you can't really not appease the algorithm. You can't feed the algorithm God as much. You can't get away with that as much, because YouTube will just clock you. You can just be like, no, you're gone. Whereas Instagram will clock you. Like, no, buddy, you're not keeping people happy, because they're all about now. The biggest thing on Instagram, the biggest feature the Instagram algorithm looks for now,
keeping people on the app.
What do you think is the metric that they look for from users that they...
How long they spend on the app?
No. There's a really specific action people might take with videos or a post that lets them know, or this is what they've deemed.
Like dwelling on the screen?
No. This action...
I've given you the same answer 3 times in
You've
different
given me
ways.
the same answer. This is the action that they've deemed to be really important to them, to let people...
Share.
What kind of share?
Sharing outside of the app.
No.
Go on.
Direct messaging a post to a friend. DMing a post specifically. So not sharing to your story.
Very interesting.
Not tagging your friends, but DMing a post to another friend is the most important. So if you ever see our posts and you're like, oh, I want to help the lads out.
Yeah.
Send it directly to a friend. Because
Yeah.
what they think, this is the mind of the executives, is that humans have emotions. Allegedly, is what they think.
Right.
And that
They haven't met these 2 lads?
when you're sharing it to your friend, it's a really personal thing. And they think that you'll go watch it then, and it's a really direct interaction. So it's not like viewer attention so much. It's not so much sharing to your stories, which is kind of a global thing and non-specific. They think you sending it to someone is a really quality human emotion, and it's like you see a specific video on how to dehorn cattle. You're
Yes.
like, Garth would love this.
Garth would love that.
And then they think this is a way of you broadening your niches.
Yeah.
Because humans have niches and emotions, apparently, according to the Instagram algorithm.
Yeah.
Or that's allegedly what the business execs think there.
Just for the Americans, a niche is a niche.
In niche. Aluminum.
In your word.
Maybe you're doing some aluminum vitamins.
Oh, aluminum vitamins.
Vitamins and aluminium.
Yeah.
So they think that the direct DMing is the most...
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
If someone looked at my DMing on Instagram, I have the same theme. Like if I send this type of meme to someone, it's like going to Rambo, or this type of meme is going to Bruno, or this one is going to John. Do you ever have that? Like there's certain people I'll only send a certain type of thing to.
Yeah.
Like,
but I suppose they have the data to back it up because they have all your actions.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they've obviously got a huge amount of follow up on what that meant for that send, you know, and they've just got this mass integration. What
I'd love to know is what Elon Musk's next move is.
Apparently he loves Trump.
He loves Trump.
Apparently he's like funding a lot of his campaign, supposedly.
I listened to a few Trump things in the last week.
All right.
Sorry.
Radicalized, are we?
Elon Musk things in the last week. So one was the Johnny Harris video on Musk. And he was obviously...
didn't paint him in a great light by the end.
Someone's political orientation will obviously have a big impact on how they view Musk. And Johnny is the opposite of what you'd be to be a Musk supporter. And he was talking about how terrible it was when he took over Twitter and made it X or whatever, and how he's kind of going anti-free speech. But then I was listening to a clip. It was like a 12-minute clip of Musk being interviewed by a host of different people about the Twitter takeover and making that into X. Musk is on it's not like a free speech thing. He wants to end wokeness because of something that happened to one of his kids.
Was that? Oh. What happened to one of his kids?
In my brief 2-hour YouTube thing of it, it looks like one of his kids was given hormone treatment pre-puberty for gender reassignment. And he's basically... in one of the clips he just says, my son is dead now, and that his thing now is basically ending wokeness. And you've got the person who last year was called the richest man alive you now have him going against that far left movement. So I'd love to know what it's like. Obviously, Twitter, that's what the Twitter move was. Twitter move isn't for free speech. It's not about any of that.
Oh.
It's cutting those people off at the base. And I'd love to know where it goes from there.
Isn't that crazy that spin things are put on? So obviously I was aware of a lot of people hating Elon Musk for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Originally he was seen as kind of was it Tony Stark, the Iron Man?
Yeah.
Tony doesn't sound right. But anyway.
It is Tony Stark, isn't it?
And then Anthony Stark. slowly started kind of hating him. And I never really understood why, and I didn't go looking. Then literally saw that Johnny Hairy ass video.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is this kind of why people are hating him at the moment?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really pay attention to much stuff he was doing lately. Obviously, you just get bombarded with things, but just try and let it flow over you like the code from Dune, which you don't know. But anyway, there's that stuff was going on. And I was like, oh. Then I saw Johnny Harris's video.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I kind of see why people might hate him now. But that's really interesting you said that.
It's very interesting.
Isn't there? You can't trust anyone except for Sika Strength.
But then, except us. Definitely trust us. But then my whole thing is like, am I being misinformed on that side of things?
That's the problem, except not with Sika Strength though.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you literally cannot trust anything except Sika Strength.
And Donald Trump. Are you a Trump supporter now? I joke.
What do you mean now?
Yeah, the woke. Someone accused you of being really woke the other day, and I'd never seen something upset you so much.
It upset me so much because it means I'm obviously hiding my true values so much online.
I do think it's really important just to stay unassociated with all of that.
Ideally, no one would know anything about me except my work history to obviously give me the ability to coach people.
No, but I think as a brand, it doesn't add anything. I know the shit talks are a little bit
It
different.
doesn't add anything.
But it's irrelevant to any of our thoughts on anything. I don't think, and I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah.
We don't do it to hide from it and try scam you and secretly we're just fascists. It's it's very purposeful because it just has nothing to do with the training information.
No. And as well, I think there's people out there who might need that training information, and if they tend to lean heavily one way or the other, they're less likely to listen to that information, which obviously is worse for us as a business, but also you're doing them a disservice.
There's no...
Because you're now, you're limiting or you're increasing the barrier for entry, because they'll now have to step over that fact that you're obviously you're a mad Trump supporter, and so they'll have to get over that then and get the information afterwards.
Do you know what as well? The other thing is neither of us are very well politically learned. We don't...
God, no.
We have minimal...
We'll be 10 minutes.
We'll be minimal political learnings. Our opinions are nonsense on that.
Absolute nonsense.
So
my opinions on most things outside of the realms of sport and sports psychology are nonsense.
Anything we talk about our stuff we are kind of confident talk about, or it's pure nonsense on the shit talk.
Yeah.
It'd be like Trump talking about S&C stuff, I couldn't tell you any of the policies. You might say...
I have no idea.
You might assume Trump is an extreme supporter or extreme policy maker.
Yes.
But I don't know any of the policies made. Or you might look at Obama, for example, from American politics.
Yeah.
And you might be like, oh, he seemed really neutral. But then people are like, oh, he killed more people with drones than any other president. None of our opinions on that are valid. I don't want to put that online because it's nonsense.
No.
The thoughts in my head on politics, we're only adding to bullshit.
Yeah. And even if you had a great nuanced opinion on something, it still doesn't mean anything. Nobody's going to look at that and say, geez, Owen's view on that is amazing. I should really listen to how he wants to program the back squat.
Oh, I thought you were going a different way. So if someone has a really good nuanced view, it probably is worth putting online,
Let Murphy talk.
If someone is a good a political candidate, you know, someone talking about Legal, you watch him sometimes, don't you?
No.
The lawyer?
I listen to the lockpicking lawyer.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Say there's a Legal fella, right?
Okay.
He's an American
amazing name, by the way.
Lawyer, a solicitor. We don't have lawyers, so we have solicitors and barristers. Yeah. He's a expert in the field, and he makes videos that are really concise and references. Okay. Basically does a video we would do on technical analysis of lose run snatch or something.
Okay.
He should be putting that stuff up.
He should be.
But I shouldn't be talking about any of that stuff.
No.
It's pure nonsense.
It is utter nonsense, yeah.
That actually was a thing a lot of people got accused of doing, say, for Huberman. He was one of many who do that, where the phrase people use was the expert ran out of stuff in their specific niche to talk about.
Yes.
And then they started talking about other things. But I also don't agree with that either, because you should be allowed to say whatever you want online or talk about whatever you want. You shouldn't be someone should be able to lock you down like that. Now, you could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that comes down to your own personal responsibility of vetting information, though. I think if you're listening to, I'm not even going to name someone here, but if you're listening to somebody and they're talking to you about vaccines, you should have the wherewithal within yourself to be like, no, I'm
Be careful now, because
Yeah.
we're straying into where...
this is exactly what I'm talking about. You should have the ability to say, oh no, this person is actually a podcaster. Why would I listen to them about medical advice or something?
Yeah.
Like, that is down to you. But unfortunately, not everyone has the ability to separate like the person they like from how well that person should be listened to.
See, the problem as well is that those people could be right about things, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the vaccine thing. I'm talking
Yeah.
about anything. Like, you could be getting information that could be correct. Like, Mike Israetel there, people are giving him flack recently. We're just watching on the bodybuilding competition he did recently.
Yeah.
He came like 7th or something out of 15th. Your man Greg Duchette made a load of, like 4 videos or something on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't watch any of the videos, but I was just following kind of online.
Yeah.
I did accidentally go down this niche, but I was interested because I kind of like Mike. I do like.
Yeah, I do.
He seems like a pretty nice person, and
He also seems like he's thought about everything he does.
yeah,
You know,
and people are like conflating his results in that competition with his knowledge and stuff, and it is, yeah,
it's a really unfortunate fact of like, he cannot alter his genetics fast enough. Like, he cannot change just how he looks when he's that lean. Like, he was 6% body fat on a DEXA scan.
yeah.
6% body fat in a DEXA scan is essentially dead. Nobody you've met has ever been 6% body fat in a DEXA.
Give him a fucking break as well, will you?
Exactly, Gert.
He's put himself up there on stage. He did
He's
the
also
dieting.
given millions upon millions of people unbelievable information for free consistently about nutrition that would have never been given to them by anyone else,
Yeah,
and on a larger scale than anyone else has done it. You know, like, I genuinely think Mike has done a lot of great things. Like, Renaissance periodization back in 2014 had better dietary templates than had ever existed previously.
you know, like, he talks about some stuff I don't always agree with him. Like, he doesn't like soft tissue work, for example.
Yes.
He thinks it's only like compassionate touch or whatever. But one of the things I didn't do was completely discount everything else he says, because I'm pretty confident he's wrong about that.
Yeah.
But then I don't discount all the other stuff and say I don't listen to him. I'm like, I just don't think he's quite on the wall with that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
It also doesn't make me dislike him as a person, because it's just a bit of information that he believes, you know, based on his experiences, and I'm sure his interpretation of what research he's read and practical, and the way his context he's put on it. But I don't go, I hate Mike Israetel now.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Do you know who's worse for this than any other group of people? Is musicians making a political stand when they have a group of 40,000 people in front of them. I don't know of any group that's worse than that.
You're talking about Zach Delander?
No,
You can say his name. It doesn't matter. Call him out.
no, Zach is very apolitical.
I actually don't know what way political Zach swings. Like, obviously I know Zach.
I assume his love of country music and cowboy hats means he swings heavily to one side. But you actually don't know.
You don't know, like, yeah.
You don't know.
Like, remember he went into that gay bar in Japan?
Oh, that was a different thing.
But that wasn't.
That was still kind of right wing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. He
We're
stayed at the back.
We're joking about that one. Are gay jokes back again? See, there's another thing we should be talking about, really. Like,
Yeah, but sure, what can we talk about? We're on a shit talk podcast.
I know, yeah.
We're trying not to talk about programming and coaching.
Yeah.
They're so sick
Anyway.
of listening to us from that.
No, they're not. They're actually not. All right, I hope everyone enjoys today's shit talk.
Is Murphy's wagging tail still in it? Murph,
Murples.
come here.
Murph.
Oh, he's very distracted.
Super distracted. So, yeah, we'll, leave Mike alone. Leave Mike the fuck alone.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Just leave everyone alone.
He's given everyone so much information.
Yeah, he just makes practical videos on information.
Hello, so do you, Murph.
Hope you enjoyed today's shit talk.
Thank you.